Hello, hello. My name's Dan, and this is Hell Awaits by another Dan, Dan McGrath. He also goes by the name Tooth and Claw. Look at this title screen. Already we know this is going to be cool. Alright, let's jump in. Oh man, I've been playing a lot of Doom recently, and there's so many obvious parallels here. It's awesome. Okay, as you can see, this is a retro first-person shooter. I covered a lot of these back a few months ago because of the E1M1 Game Jam. This is from June of 2021, and the whole point of the jam was to have the various developers see what kind of retro FPS they could make, and they all had to use the Raycasting Game Maker engine. So the games all have similar gameplay mechanics, but then it's up to the developer to deviate from the ready-made formula and throw their own flair on it. Now, Dan McGrath is known for a few games, one of which I made a video on several months ago. It's called Harmful, and it's more of a passive experience. It's kind of like a cool little serial killer murder mystery kind of thing, and I liked it a lot. It was very short though. He also made a game called Sanctified, and I liked it too. It was longer, and it was about a husband searching for his wife and kid, and they had been kidnapped by some kind of strange cult. But my favorite game that he's made is called The House of Unrest. It was for the most recent Dread X collection, and it was super fantastic. I made a video for it as well. You play as a priest, it's in first-person perspective, and in one hand you got your crucifix, and in the other hand you carry a gun. It's awesome. You have to investigate demonic activity at a country manor. Now for this game, Hell Awaits, he's obviously keeping up with the demonic theme, and maybe this is the kind of shooter he might have made had he been a developer in the 90s, I guess you could say. And it's really cool. I like this game a lot. I love the hellish environments and the subject matter. Now, when I first heard the title, I immediately thought of Slayer. Slayer was an American thrash metal band in the 80s and 90s. They might still be around, but their second album is called Hell Awaits, and to be honest, I've noticed some of the iconography used in this game. It could almost have been lifted from their album covers, like the Christ corpses hanging on the walls, the stacked heads on pikes. I mean, I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but pretty cool if it was. So anyway, what's our objective here? Well, it looks like we're just supposed to make our way through these infernal hallways, shooting monsters and finding keys. You know, your typical retro shooter kind of thing. There's nothing gameplay-wise that really stands out. It looks like the developer opted more for... It looks like he concentrated on the aesthetic, you know, the vibe or the whole feel of the game. I mean, you can't really ask for too much. These guys have tough time constraints for these game jams. And also, the game engine is supposedly super janky and annoying to use. But I love these retro shooters, and I could play them all day. It doesn't really get old to me. I love just seeing the different types of themes and visual styles the devs come up with. So what I'm saying is, having a cool aesthetic is enough for me sometimes, you know, to keep me playing. I suppose this game could have had a little bit more difficulty to it. It felt a little on the easy side, but then some of the other games in the jam also had the same problem. If a game is too easy, at least you get to play through the whole thing and see the whole game in its entirety without getting frustrated. But then it might not feel like you've accomplished much when you beat it, like there's no challenge. But on the other hand, if a game is too hard, then you might get frustrated, you know, because you're dying over and over again to the point where you might just call it and stop playing. And no developer wants that. Okay, so most of this gameplay you've been watching was from the first area. I'll show some bits from other areas, but I don't want to give too much away in case you're inspired to play it for yourself. But there's 5 areas total, and we're scored based on our time to complete and the number of enemies we've killed. One of the cool things about this genre is simply finding all the secrets embedded in the levels, like secret doors that lead to new fantastic weapons, or Easter eggs, or big health pickups. And unfortunately, because of the nature of a game jam competition, developers don't really have enough time to throw all of that in there. So yeah, that element is kind of missing here. But obviously, you can't hold that against them. I mainly just wanted to showcase some of the gameplay, but really I wanted you to get the feel for what it's like to play it. Those of you who enjoy retro shooters like this might have been curious, and hey, maybe you hadn't heard of this one. I'm glad we live in a time where developers can easily make their own Wolfenstein 3D style game, you know? And when I heard Dan McGrath was participating in this game jam, I was super curious, and I couldn't wait to see what he came up with. And this one is simply amazing. Like, it's definitely one of my favorites. He did a great job with the textures and the backgrounds, and it sounded like on Twitter he was having a lot of fun with the artwork. Although lots of the participants complained that the engine that they had to use, the raycasting Game Maker engine, was a real pain in the neck. I thought that the music was super cool and creepy and atmospheric too. But anyway, I think that's going to be all for this video. I hope some of you seek out the game. I'll put a link in the description. It's on itch.io. The whole game took me about 30 minutes to complete. So it was a nice little diversion, and it was a lot of fun shooting demons in a game other than Doom. Call it Doom 3D. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and found my review informative. Stay safe out there, and I will see you next time.